Hey everybody, welcome back to Women Carry Knives. On the table in front of us, we are going to be taking a look at the Reate baby machine. So this is actually one of my husband, a Therapeutic Edges knife, but this thing, it's really cool. So I will start by saying it's a Tashi Barucha design. And it's basically the smaller version of the machine. So pretty much he wanted to come up with something similar to that, but in a smaller size, so kind of your mini, so to speak. This is just a really great knife. I'm really liking it. It's got a very unusual handle shape, but I actually like that. I thought it was really different. You have a drop point blade, and this is in Damasteel RWL 34. It's a flat grind and a satin finish, which is beautiful. Now, here's an interesting thing. I did not know what RWL 34 steel was. So, like I usually do, if there's something I don't know, I haven't run across, I love to look it up because, again, I want to learn too. So, what I did find out that it was named after a famous knife maker, Robert Lovelace. And he was an American knife maker who designed and popularized the hollow ground drop point blades and use of full tapered tangs and screw type handle scale fasteners. It said that other knife makers and collectors said that he was one of the most innovative custom knife makers in the world, which says a lot about somebody if they're going to say that. I mean, that's just really cool. He discovered this steel, the RWL steel. He made use of the Japanese ball bearings, the steel ATS 34 from Kobe Steel. Kobe Steel, the ATS 34, is good for high demand for stainless hardenable knife steel. And then Damasteel came along, and the founder of Damasteel, Pete Pelle Billigren, was looking for the best stainless steel and wanted to know what Robert Lovelace had discovered. So then Pelle of Damasteel was actually able to take this already good ATS-34 and make it into a powder metallurgy made steel. So Damasteel was the first in the world to produce a powder metallurgy version of the ATS-34, which was then named RWL-34 after Bob Lovelace. So I just love hearing history or how something was made or what about it. Now, I know the RWL-34 has been talked about. It has a very high steel strength and toughness, and also it gives a really good edge retention. So, and they say that it's really easy to maintain the RWL-34. So that's your little history lesson. Again, something I had just learned about because I was actually not aware of it. I do love to hear that, and I know that they say the hardness of the RWL-34 tends to be in the 60 range, 60, 61, somewhere around there. So, way to go, Reate. Again, did not know that, and you can see the logo there. Can you see that? I'm not sure if you can. Okay, so let's get into this a little bit. Like I said, it is a drop point blade. You have that flat grind and the satin finish. This does run on ceramic bearings. It is it's not an integral, but it is made to look like an integral. So the two scales come together, making it look like an integral, but it is not, which makes makes it a little bit easier to get into this knife. I would not attempt to open an integral knife. I would not attempt to do anything to that knife because I would never get it back together. Thus the reason I do not actually have any right now. And if I did, I would not be confident in myself to do that. I would send it back to the maker for any type of repair that needs to be done. This thing is a fun flipper. I love the thumb hole on it. It is a frame lock. Your handle is a bead blasted 3D machined 6A4V titanium. You do have a titanium pocket clip on this. Definitely not deep carry for those of you, I mean, it's going to carry deep enough. You've only got maybe about a 1/4 inch, almost a 1/2 inch sticking out of your pocket there. So that's not bad at all. It's very comfortable in pocket. It's a titanium clip, so you know that is going to be sturdy. It is right hand tip up carry only. So for my lefty people out there, sorry about that. I still think we need to get more lefty knives out there. Your open length on this knife is going to be 7 1/4 inches. No, almost, about almost 7 1/2. We'll turn it this way. Just about 7 1/2 inches on this one. Your blade length, if you want to take a look at that, because I skipped that, your blade length is about 3 1/4 inches with a 3-inch cutting edge. Your closed length is going to be just a hair over 4 inches. Now, I thought it was interesting when I picked this up because I thought the handle shape to the blade was just kind of off for me. But once you get it into hand, it really does feel good. So I was impressed with that. The clip for me is a little bit high, and because due to the width of this clip, you can see that it is pretty wide, and it does stick up a fair amount. So it is a little bit of a hot spot for me. I could see if I'm using this all day, you know, or a lot, it's going to be digging into my hand and not be super comfortable. Now, where it rides on my hand is pretty high and right at the edge, but I have small hands. So for those of you with larger hands, it probably would not be a problem. Now, if I choked up on it a little bit more, you know, again, it's not going to be as much of a problem for me, but I tend to hold my knives back a little further, and that's when I'm going to feel it. So this would be a good knife for me as long as I'm choking up on it. It's definitely smooth. You know, it drops shut. It's smooth. It's easy to flip out, and I'm off the screen right there. Yeah, this is a great little knife. I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, I really thought, basically, don't judge a book by its cover. You really don't know what you're getting into. You really don't know what the knife's going to be like until you have it in hand. Because once you get it in hand, then you know what it's really going to feel like. So like I said, at first I thought, that's really interesting. I'm not sure I like the handle. But once it gets in hand, it feels really, really good. There is no jimping on the spine. However, you really don't need it on this one. Yeah, I don't feel, this knife doesn't feel to me like it's going to slip at all, whether I'm back on it further down the handle, whether I'm choked up a little bit more on it. You know, I think it feels really good either way. Like I said, the bearings on this, I mean, it's so smooth. It's really smooth. I really do like it. And it's soft. It's not a, I don't want to say, it's not an aggressive opening, if that's a good way to put it. It's almost a soft opening. So even though you're flipping it open, it feels soft. And I can't even think of a better word for that. But it just feels good. I think the look is very unique. Now, I have not seen the machine, which is the larger version of this. I'm assuming it's going to look the same. I have not looked. But I almost think that a larger size would not be bad for me either, which is different for me to say. If we want to do a, pardon me, a size comparison, as I choke, I am looking for, sorry about that, guys. Here is the Reate Model 1, which has a filthy blade. This one gets used a lot. So there's our Reate Model 1. You can see the size there. We have the Mini Presidio 2. I'm checking that out. Sorry about that, but bug out. And the Presidio, which, you know, I mean, both of those are basically the same size. But it kind of gives you, and there goes the dog and her squeaky ball. So here kind of gives you a little bit of a size comparison again. You've got the Reate Model 1. And we'll get that edge to edge, or we can go pivot to pivot. You know, so really I would consider this, I'd have to consider it maybe a medium-sized knife, a small, maybe a little bit more on the small side. But either way, so you kind of get an idea of what it looks like size-wise. You know, it's a great knife. I don't tend to do videos on knives I don't like. Once in a while, I will, because it may be, you know, maybe there's things I do like about it. Maybe there's things that I don't like about it. I really like this one. I really like it. It is, the smoothness of it is just incredible, like I said. So I do love that factor. All right, you guys, that is it for this one. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'd love to hear from you. Have you here all the time. Leave a comment down in the comments section. And until next time, thank you.